Jackie, the voice of an angel. God, I wish you could have heard him sing. He'd close his eyes, and you'd swear it was Count John McCormick himself. When you and I were young. That was his special one for me, his Maggie. We dreamed of growing old together, like in the song, together in our new country, our new free island, he said it would be. A nation once again. That was his other favourite. Everyone would ask him to sing it. He'd stand there with his arms doing the actions. He loved that song. I swear, I never heard a better singer. Oh, he was a real patriot. Much good it did him. He worshipped Mr. Edmund. Took it all in about Home Rule being promised when the war was done. And Monsignor Morrissey giving out from the pulpit about poor little Catholic Belgium and the Germans cutting the arms of children and violating nuns and all. I swear, it'd bring tears to a glass eye. Maggie, says he, I'm going to enlist. 'Tis my duty. And I was sad, but I was so proud. Well, the day they left Dublin, God, you want to have seen it. The roads were lined with people cheering them on, even though the rain was hopping on the streets. I saw him as he passed. And weren't they singing it as they went by, a nation once again? Oh, and the smile on him. His voice could be heard above the rest. That was the last time I heard him sing. The last time I saw him smile. Well, no sooner were the decent men gone when them gurriers came out of the woodwork. Them and their so-called German arms, the volunteers, hardly knowing much support to them with their so-called rising. So when they was beaten, they were marched through the streets. Women lined up and pelted them with stones and rotten fruit. I did myself. Them carrying on like that when our men were in the trench. That same week, Jackie was in France when they saw this cloud spread towards them in the trench. They thought it was gas, put on their masks and waited. They were full sure the Germans were going to attack. Well, nothing happened. It was just smoke, see? So off came the masks. Well, a few hours later, doesn't the same thing happen again? This time, they don't bother with the masks, and this time it is gas. Chlorine. It had been a trick. Brendan was killed. Jackie, he got his mask on, but not before some of the gas had got into his lungs. Then he found Brendan further up the trench. Well, Jackie spent a month in the field hospital, getting better from the gas he'd taken in. But he never recovered. Oh, he was up and walking back to the front. But inside, he had died with Brendan. He never forgave himself for not lying there and dying beside him in the trench. Well, it was in 1918 when the ship came into the North Wall in Dublin. There were hundreds of people there, mainly women. Men being helped off the ship, blind, some of them. Some without legs. And do you know what they did to them? They threw stones at them, stones and insults, yelled names at them, cowards, traitors. Could you believe that? The bitches, the bloody hypocrites. My Jackie was as much a patriot as any one of them gobshites. Well, 1919, my sister asked us to come over here to Manchester and join her. She'd been living in Ancoats since before the war. There was work in the cotton mills, and she sent us the fare. Well, there was, so he was certainly ran out of the country he loved. Well, I got work. But he never did. His chest was weak from the gash, you see. He hated to see it. Thought he'd failed me. No matter what I said, get yourself strong, and you'll soon be working. But we both knew he was too weak. So when the flu came, he couldn't fight it. At least he didn't fight it. Try as I might, I couldn't make him. One day, he got sick. 2 days later, he was gone. God knows what he'd think of, what was going on over there now with their so-called treaty and free state. They turned on each other again. Oh, Jackie love, that nation, once again, not what we dreamed of, is it? I wander today o'er the hills, Maggie, to the sea below, the creek
agus Marion Riley, mar bhaithí na dála cúna féin, agus nála sin gathú, agus sin go Amen. She was taken out of bed. My daddy, shoved on the floor and made to kneel. Jesus, help me, he whispered. When he put a gun to his head, I kicked the man holding the gun, and he pushed me away. A shot rang out, but I can't remember anything else. I don't want to remember. We laid Daddy out in the front room. The huge rosary beads we used to hang beneath the Sacred Heart lamp were wrapped around his strong father's hands. The room swam in front of my eyes, but someone held me up and told me to be brave. Kiss your daddy goodbye, said Mommy. And I tried. I really tried to touch his lips, but I couldn't. The smell of the lilies made me feel sick. And so I ran from what was no longer my daddy. I heard the sound of a hammer banging nails, and I came back in to kiss him goodbye, but they'd already closed the coffin lid. Now here I am, my 14th birthday, in the Hidden Gem Church in Manchester, for forgiveness and for my daddy's soul. I'm such an idiot sometimes. I thought the Hidden Gem was a kind of palace hidden away like forgotten treasure. I'm far away now from what my eyes have seen. Far away from the banshee wailing of bereaved mothers. The British had left our country, and we celebrated all of being free. But soon, neighbour was fighting neighbour. Even my brothers were on different sides. Martin with the IRA and Brenda with the Free State Army. My heart was split in two. I just wanted life to be normal. To feel free in the fields, to climb haystacks and play dance tunes and promises of boys and girls of my own age. I knew to sit on a boy's lap or even to kiss one was a sin, but wasn't that better than grown-ups killing each other? At Daddy's funeral, my brothers wrapped their arms around each other and they threw away their guns. They left soon afterwards for Canada. One day, I I found Mummy crying by the sea. I wrapped my arms around her and she promised she'd keep me safe. And she kept her promise. My Mummy saved a man's life. Imagine! Even now I can't believe she was so brave. It was early morning and everyone, even cats and dogs, were inside their homes. There were men behind walls on the top of roofs with machine guns ready. No one dared go outside. An auto car drew up and a Free State officer jumped out, and suddenly my Mummy, in a night, ran into the middle of the road shouting, "Go back, they're waiting for you, it's an ambush!" With bullets flying, the officer jumped back into the car and got away. That night, the IRA came down from the mountains, took my Mummy out of bed, shoved her against the wall, and bayonet to her chest. I cried, please don't kill her, Mummy. As they left, they screamed, "They'd burn our house down." We had to get away. My grandmother placed rosary beads around my neck. There, child, she cried. It's for the best. The journey to Manchester was a nightmare. I'll never forget it, even if I lived to be 100. We crept out of the village with an escort of loyal neighbours who put their lives at risk guarding us. We were in a cart with the horses' hooves covered with cloths, so no noise had been made. Every now and then we had to get out of the cart, so it could be lifted over the high spikes in the trenches. I thought it was the funniest thing ever when 4 men struggled to lift a blindfolded horse. I don't know why Mummy slapped me. It was the first time I'd laughed in ages. At midnight, we sat shivering on the beach in Phoenix, facing the Atlantic waves. At dawn, we went into an open boat and rowed out to the big ship waiting to take us to England. The sea was rough and the waves were enormous. I vomited all down my dress when Mummy sewed money into the hem in case her other money was stolen. Mummy walked round and around the deck crying to herself. It was as if I didn't exist. "I know you want Daddy back," I cried, "but please, Mummy, please, I'm here." She kissed me then as if she was seeing me for the first time. Mummy has decided to stay here in Manchester, where she says we'll have a future free from war. I light my candles in this piece of church and pray she's right. I like it here, especially my school are out of college, even though my friends laugh my Irish accent and my hair in plaits. But one day, I'll go back to the land of my birth, lay flowers on my daddy's grave, and tell him how sorry I am that I never kissed him goodbye. One day, I'll stop crying in my sleep